What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Vision here, back again with another crypto market update. In today's video, we're going over PNG, baby. Got some comments on it, got some interest on it, so we're going to cover it. So, if you like today's video, hit that like button, PNG crew. Subscribe for more. Leave a comment where you're tuning in from. I appreciate it. So, PNG right here on the daily, we got the sell side trend line, right? Trying to get a close above, and what did we do? We actually made this video, I believe, right here. Right there, we made this video in the morning too, so that hadn't happened yet, and we were saying, hey, you gotta come up with make a decision, right? I was micro bearish, and we did come down. We had a level of 13712. You can go back, check out the video. Not cherry picking. We came down to 13721, and then the next day we came back down to 13719. So we did drop, right? We did drop a tiny bit, tiny bit. Where did we open? We dropped down not much at all, right? I actually thought it would be a lot more. The reason why this actually was on here was, you know, sometimes in crypto you have harsh corrections, especially on an asset, $31 million asset, right? Could have kind of a harsh correction. But PNG is holding up well. I have no skin in the game, right? I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice, right? I have no reason to inflate or deflate. I'm just calling it how I see it, right? It looks actually healthy relative to other cryptos. I haven't really looked at anything today yet, but it does look good just because we broke out full body candle breakout, right? Full body candle breakout, and yeah, yes, we are coming back down. We are. Everything is though. It's not just PNG. So we are above. We're still above the 20 and the 50 EMA. Right, and everything is still below the 200. So you still have the capability of doing this, right? Crossing the 100, crossing the 200, both the 50 and the 20, right? And that's when you get your biggest moves. We were looking for full body candle closes above the 14560. We did not get that. All right, we did not get that. So that's still the level, right? So now instead of looking at it through the lens of this whole price action, right? Just look at it through here now. Right, what are we doing with this? Are we coming down like this now? Are we doing this like kind of a broadening wedge kind of thing, right? Let me get my actual cursor out because some reason it picks my mouse picks and chooses when it wants to draw. I have no control over my mouse, right? Are we doing this? All right, coming down like this. I'm gonna go right because obviously this trend line is a big deal, but so are these two areas, right? We can't seem to close and stay above these areas, right? We tried twice. We've tried twice already, right? We tried right here. We tried right here. We did get above right here, but we couldn't stay above this one, right? So this area right here is key. These areas right here are key. So yeah, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, but you're below your areas of you're below above, so look below. We do have this trend line that is helping us. It's right on the 50 and the 20. So yeah, this is an area of support. This is somewhere where you could see a bounce. You could realistically you could. Um, I don't need to throw in fibs. We already have the levels, but I do want to check out there we go. This is what I was looking for. I wanted to see what the RSI was doing, right? We have a cross on the stochastic. So you got some bullish, some bearish momentum building up. If when I turn on the MACD, it's probably going to show like light green or something, right? Like you've used some of your bullish momentum and you're losing it. We do have a cross through the RSI down through here. And so, and weekends aren't really kind to crypto. I don't know what it is, but they typically aren't kind. That doesn't say they're not always bad, but 51% of the time, right? These are all probabilities. There's nothing for certain. There's nothing for certain in life. There's nothing for certain in life. There's a couple things, but I won't go there. But there is, right? We have the probability of going lower because we're crossing on the RSI, on the daily. We're crossing on the stochastics. Do we have bearish momentum? What did we close up here? 1490. Nope, no bearish momentum. We did make a higher high on the RSI with higher high in price. So let's actually get some bullish divergence, right? Let's get some bullish divergence. What do we close out right here? 1397. Right, we would have to come down a little bit on your RSI, close down below here, right, and still hold above these areas. So maybe come down. That wouldn't even, I mean, you can close like right there, but that wouldn't even make sense to close right there, if I'm being honest. There's no stopping point. Right? You'd be right below your 50. You'd be below your trend line, right? It's just not. It's gonna be tough to do that. It's gonna be tough to do that. So PNG right now, like most cryptos, right? I mean, we're going through. I mean, these are all cryptos that I've been interested in, that I watch to, potentially invest in. But everything is red. It's not just PNG, right? My biggest holding, XLM, a large market cap altcoin, it's down. Chainlink down. Right? These other things are down. I mean, 4%, 3%, 3%, 14%. That did pump like crazy yesterday, but still, like, there isn't any strength or confidence in the market, right? When something pumps 10 to 15%, people are getting out. People are taking profits because we're being conditioned that with every upside, with every 10% to the upside, you get a 20% to the downside. With every 50% to the upside, you get, a 50% to the downside. So it's just, I mean, and I don't blame people. I've been taking profits on some assets because if the pattern remains and it continues, it would kind of be unwise to deviate from what the trend is. And the trend from market makers and institutions and hedge funds and billionaires and trillionaires is we're fine with 10% gains, right? We're fine with 15% gains. We're going to invest. We're going to put money in. It's going to pump up. We're going to sell, right? We're going to just keep wrecking retail that are waiting for 10x, 15x, 20x, right? I do believe that something like that is coming, but right now, this whole idea of, adoption being good for crypto is kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because you get stuff like this where it's more constructive, but it's less explosive, right? There's less crazy move and sustained moves. Let's go look at Toshi just real quick, just to kind of, talked about it. Let's show you, right? Let's go look at Toshi if my trading view will load. All right, we're on the daily. Okay, Toshi went up. I mean, it is flagging out. It does look good, but to say that you were wrong to take profits up here, I think is a bit naive. Right? You're down. It's down 30%. That's a good gain, right? Even if you took profits up, halfway up, you're up 38%. It went up 100%. Stock goes up, an asset goes up 100%. For me personally, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I'm taking some off the table. Because if it does drop, I can reinvest more. I can put it somewhere else. I can do something with it. It's locked in realized gains. And that's what people struggle with in this market is I'm coming from traditional stocks. So my background, I've invested in traditional stocks. I've been in traditional stocks for years. And I was fine with 10, 15, 20% gains. I'll just lock in gains, move on to the next asset, lock in gains, move into the next asset. Some would be better, some would be worse. 5%, 2%, 3%, but you just move on. And you're fine with that, and that builds up. With crypto, it's more so just wait and hold, and these things, the return on investment is insane, but you do have to lock in profits because the corrections are just as bad. Right, it's this whiplash. So right now PNG on the daily, it kind of looks like it wants to correct. You got to cross on the RSI, you got to cross on the stochastic. You do have a green dot with bullish momentum. Let's go into the 4-hour though. I mean, you're like right on this, right? That's why you're subscribed to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we put this on here. I mean, you just were bouncing all over it, right? So, right, not a financial advisor, not financial advice, but area of interest, right? I do this for all my assets, all the ones I cover. I have areas, right? If I was here, you know, I would add 10%, 15%, you know, 20%, 25%, right? 25%, something like that, right? You're adding as your levels are hit. So it's because it's fair value. You're buying something at a discounted fair value. You're not buying something that has pumped 15%. You're not buying up here. Right? These are validation zones, right? We need to get above these zones. We got to get above these zones. You're not buying at these zones yet. Right? The last zone I would buy at if we broke through everything, right? Not a financial advisor, not financial advice. We broke through everything and then we came back, right? If we came back and then touched this last one. Because more than likely this is going to be an area of support, right? And an area of resistance turns into support, right? If we go up to that, right, the next move, this 27-cent mark. I mean, that's we just looked at Toshi. That's a 35. That's exactly what Toshi did. It's a 35% drop, right? So something like that. Right? That's my mindset. That's my mindset is you don't buy at these. I wouldn't buy at these areas because you can easily come up like you just did right here. You come up and then you reject. All right, you come up and you reject. All right, you come up. This one made it, but it didn't close. So the wick is different. A wick is different. This one you came up. This one looked promising right here. You had to wait for this right here, this candle. Right, the candle just tanked. Right, candle tanked. You had to wait for confirmation on this candle right here. This next candle needed to bounce, but it didn't. It went the other way. So those are just strategies. You gotta dial in your plan. You gotta have, and then you gotta be able to act on it. You gotta have the confidence. You gotta have the conviction to act on it. Right? You came up. Oh shoot, sorry. So yeah, so that's that in a nutshell. Sorry, kind of just, you know, I kind of go overboard sometimes with that, but hey, you're bouncing right here on this. That doesn't look too bad. It's just you've crossed already on the 4 hour. Did you have bearish divergence? I think you did. Yeah, 15. Yeah, 15.11. Yeah, 15.1. Yeah, so you had a little bit of bearish divergence, and that makes sense. Just a slight bit of bearish divergence, right? Just a slight bit. So nothing crazy. We do have a lot of momentum. So let's not just lose it all. Let's not lose it all. That would be bad if you lost all your momentum and got it lower. Because that means you're going, I mean, it's not bad in the long term. It's just you're going to go through a kind of a harsher correction than what we're seeing right now. So, yeah, so that's that. On the 2 hour, let's check out the 2 hour real quick. This does look like a three-wave move. The more I keep zooming in and zooming in, this looks like a three-wave move right here. This really does. All right, let's check this out. Is it a three-wave move? Let's see. Let's see. Came down to your, from the low to the high, right down to the 382. That's beautiful. Beautiful A wave. Not a strong A wave. That makes sense why we're kind of finding support at this trend line, right? We're not just tanking through it. Where do we get on the B wave? B wave touched right at the 618. I hope you guys see that, right? I mean, just off, probably because my drawing is terrible. Look at that, right on there. Drawing is terrible. I mean, and this thing is off too. There we go. There we go. Pretty much up to the, you closed right below the 0.5. You tried to wick up to your 618. Sufficient B wave, right? Sufficient B wave. Not overextending, but, you know, healthy B wave. Healthy B wave. And so from the low to the high, I don't really want to take this low. It's kind of a fake out low. I don't want to take this low. I'll measure both, but I'll just see. You did, I mean, yeah, I'll take this low. Because you came right to the 618 and you tried to, and this was a decision right here. Because so for retracements, right, big areas of retracements are through here, right, for your C wave. But they can extend down to here. They can. If it passes the 2, the first like area you're really looking for support is the 2272. All right, that's where you're looking for some kind of bounce, something to happen. Where does that translate to? Nothing really. It's kind of no man's land, right? Kind of in no man's land. So We can, oh, sorry about that. We can use this low. It's kind of like a pretty harsh low, but 1272. Let me see. Kind of slammed through everything. So to be conservative, I'll use this low just because it was a lower. It's lower. You know, I like projecting deeper corrections more and then less to the upside. So if it stops before the correction I think it's going to make, we're happy. I'm happy. If it goes higher than the conservative mark, I'm happy, right? So the yeah, so that 1272 is kind of this in the same ballpark as this 1618. So we're kind of looking for that 14027. Kind of in no man's land right now. You're below the 200 on the 4 hour, on the 2 hour. But this does look like a three-wave move. It really does. It looks like it wants to be completed soon, right? But that means that leaves us up to going into the weekend. So overall, right, PNG does look solid. I've said that before. I'll say it again. It is waiting like most cryptos. It is waiting, but it's going sideways, right? It's going sideways, which is good. What you want to see. It's just going sideways. It's accumulation. So, yeah, these are some key areas that, you know, if I was investing, I would be looking to add, especially after rejections and seeing where we bounce from, right? After rejections and seeing where we bounce from. We bounce from down here, the first one. We bounce from right here, the second one. Okay, so not a financial advice or not financial advice. I like PNG. It's a 31 million. Pardon me. The market cap is 31. I'll say 32 million. A 10x takes you to 320 million, right? And it takes you to $1.40. I don't know. To me, that seems like a solid investment, right? Solid investment. If you know those are projections. If it goes to a 10x, I mean, it could go to a 5x, a 2x. So I mean, could tank. It could go to zero. Right? That's the risk of crypto. So, yeah, do your own research, understand what you're investing in, have conviction, and then stick out to your plan. Right? Stick to a plan. Have levels, have profit levels, things like that. So, if you like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, leave a comment where you're tuning in from, leave a comment on what you think PNG is going to do. I appreciate your time. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Peace.